Evening, faithful. It's another Manic Monday on the David McNider channel. Been happening all season. Like, oh well. It's not something I would like. It's something I could not get used to. You know, it is. But at this point, I think the television was telling me we have 0.1 chance, 0.1%. And I'm like, well, how'd you guys figure that out? Like, and then I'm seeing this on the In the Hunt thing, and it's like looking at like the Rams actually play the Seahawks.
Yep.
So what? We need them to tie.
I guess so. We need them
to lose both these games and then tie.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like, dude, you realize like 0.1. Oh, all right, I guess a snowball does have a chance in hell. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
It's got a 0.1% chance, right?
It's just like I'm looking at it like, really, like how is this? Like,
yeah.
And I'm not one to complain, and I like to keep my attitude positive, and
yeah.
At this point in time, it's like, what do you do, right? What? Oh boy. Yep, it does.
Yeah,
that's right.
Hey, that's that same 0.0000001 that we have. So
that's about our percentage of making the play. Yeah. It's pretty close.
Yeah. So as long as there's a chance.
Yeah, our whole division, they have to lose out. The Seahawks have to tie.
Yeah.
The Rams at the end. I think they actually. Hold on, do they play the Cardinals play the Rams?
I don't know.
Oh boy.
Who knows?
Well, let's see how messy this is.
I know.
Why not?
Our division does
you
go
only
at
live once.
So yeah, exactly. It's all fun to think about.
And yes, they do. December 29th.
See, there you go.
So then, well, where do they stand right now, though? I mean, they beat the Patriots. We can't have okay. So the Rams need what? 2 ties, I guess, against the Cardinals and the Seahawks. 2 ties out of 3 games and a loss.
Yeah.
Well,
they could lose 2, but they have to tie 1, don't they? Isn't that the way it goes? It's something weird.
Standings real quick. Let me look at the standings. Maybe it's the Cardinals they can beat. I know they're going to have to tie the Seahawks. But this is just come on, put a fork in us, will you?
Never. Keep hope alive.
Man.
Sentinel, yes. This is my George Kittle Joker T. It says, oh, hey there down there. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, hey there. But yeah, and the eyes are an 8 and a 5. If you can see that. So yeah.
Nice. Bryant Cole, what's up, buddy? What's up? Oh my goodness. You gotta be kidding. Introducing from Stockton, California.
Brian hey. Cole.
He was in the picture for the thumbnail at least. If I knew he was coming, I threw his name on the post, but it's cool.
The 3 Musketeers are back together again.
Right.
Today was a really, really rare day for me. I was able to get off, not be scheduled. And hey, what better day today, or what better thing to do than talk 49er football with you guys? It's not the best season, but it's not the worst season. We still have some life, right? there's a percentage,
dead
right?
yet.
There's a
We ain't dead
percentage.
yet.
But even if we were honestly dead, right? Wouldn't you guys want us to win out? Do you really want to tank? Yeah, I'm not one of those guys that really want to see us lose a game on purpose. I don't want to know that they're losing on purpose. And if they are, shame on them. For me, looking at the, last couple of years of drafting, I don't think it really matters if we get a first round pick. So if we get one that's, in the middle or even at the end, it doesn't really matter because they haven't all panned out. So again,
Exactly.
the draft to me doesn't necessarily matter. And if we're drafting from the top, are we getting another Bosa? Because that's all I want to know. Because we need some help. We need some help here and there. But how are you guys tonight?
Doing well.
I'm alive and kicking, Bryant. I'm actually looking at the NFC West standings. So the Rams and Seahawks are 8-6. The Cardinals are 7-7, and we're 6-8. So pretty much the Cardinals could stand to win a game. But then they have to lose the other two. The Rams would have to lose. I think they'd have to lose 2 and tie 1. That would be the Seahawks. Seahawks the same thing. They'd have to lose 2 and tie. That their game at the end of the season. Their game is in week 18. And then we would have to win out, and then all of a sudden it's like. All of a sudden, the fan base is going buck wild. We're going to see, people wearing only 49er flags streaking in the streets.
Yep.
It's, but yeah, we ain't dead yet. I don't, but I've seen all kinds of like stories like, oh, you guys should just lose the rest of the games. It's like, why, like. Seriously, and Bryant's right. The first round picks haven't necessarily worked out the early ones. Bosa,
Nope.
Bosa, that's
he was super early.
Or early first round picks. That's it, right?
Yep.
So,
but I don't think
one
even
of those things.
I don't even think we're in position to get a super early pick right now. So
we're not. We'd be like.
Just to win out and play similar against somebody is what I would want the Niners to do, because if we do have this team that we believe we are, a few injuries shouldn't slow us down from winning. And if the team spirit hasn't been broken yet, then maybe we have 1 or 2 players walk off on us or maybe quit playing for us. But that's not all 53 guys, right? That might be 52, 51. We won't put a dead set number on it. But the team spirit isn't broken and the locker room hasn't been snapped. Even if the, media wants to try to portray that this locker room's lost. I don't think Shanahan's lost the locker room. I think there's just been some injuries this year that's really set us back a little bit. I'm not giving anybody a way out or an excuse, but when you do lose significant players and players don't come to camp accordingly because they're dealing with contract negotiations, everything is shifted. And then we've had some serious injuries and illnesses and deaths with people's families this year. The Niners are a family-based team, and they are really close. So if you lose somebody, it might be like you're losing your nephew, or you might be losing your cousin, or something similar in that fashion, and it might put an effect on you. So we don't know how devastating this really impacted the whole team. I know of 2 different players that's lost family members this year. So, I mean, that really that hits, man. So David and me were talking the other day, and he made a point, and I think it's cool, but I fired back because, I'm just ornery like that. He said, us having a bad record this year will put us at like a third, how do you word it, David? A third position season. So we should be playing like inferior team.
Yes, a third or fourth third or fourth.
That's what we're set up to do now.
And that's what we're that'd be the schedule we get. We get a third or fourth place schedule.
Yep.
So with that mindset, us coming back as a super team, healthy, we should just be able to wipe the floor. Now the narrative is we won't be playing anybody next year, But really, does it matter? You have to play the teams that are on your schedule. And if you go undefeated, you go undefeated. If you go undefeated against good teams, hey, cheers to you. If you go undefeated to bad teams, it doesn't really matter. The W is what matters, right? So you want the W, you want the victory. But for me, like again, I told David, me being honorary, you want to beat the best, to say you're the best, right? You don't want to be playing against the bottom feeders. But hey, if we got to play Scuba Steve because that's what our record is, then I want to be like, what is it, Uncle Pedro out there and Uncle Rico. I'm sorry,
Uncle Rico.
I want to be throwing passes over the mountain and stuff. I want to be scoring touchdowns. So I think the Niners have a good chance this year. I really do. But for right now, one game at a time. I was looking at the Packers game last night, and I didn't watch much of it because it just kind of got sickening. The Seahawks aren't the team that we are. We just had injuries, and the Packers aren't the team we are. They're getting good at a really good time right now, and they don't have to deal with us because of our injuries.
Well, and then I mean, at this point, like the Rams, what do they have? They have a second or third place schedule. The Seahawks, the Cardinals have a fourth place schedule right now. And the Rams and Seahawks, I can't remember if they were second or third last year. I don't think it matters, but the Seahawks were third and the Rams were second, right?
Steve is always included as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, constantly talking to him and vice versa with David McNiner. So Steve-O,
that's right.
Gets a lot of
that's
credit
right,
as
Steve-O.
well.
You're always in, buddy. Chad Schrader, what's going on, man? How's it going? Thanks for catching that. I appreciate it.
All right.
But I mean, we got the Dolphins. We lost to the Rams, and if anyone wants to blame the defense, you can meet me in the street. Believe it or not, if you want to blame special teams, also you can meet me in the street. They actually had a decent game.
They did their job.
Yeah,
they did their job. Defense did their job. They both did their job. The offense did not do the job.
Can I ask you guys both a question?
Sure.
Go for it.
Okay. I'm directly asking you, Ty. Did they force feed Debo the ball last game?
I don't think so. He got his same number of opportunities that he always gets. So I don't think it was force feeding him. He just didn't capitalize. Like a lot of that stuff was just wide open, easy stuff that he didn't do anything with. So, and they did try to get the ball to Jennings and Pearsall and other guys. It's just he was so mistakeful. It stands out. Like, geez.
It's just really weird after he spoke out and said he wanted to be more of the offensive, star, offensive highlight. He needs to be utilized more, that he underperformed the way he did. So to me, it does seem like they tried to feature him as the offensive weapon, the offensive superstar, the go-to player. Same question to you, David. How do you feel they utilize Mr. Debo? Do you think they force-fed Debo this last game?
Well, Tyshawn Raekwon Samuel Sr. I think what happened was, the plays that he did get, we were all watching. It was like magnified to us, right? And, over the course of the last several games, he does have plays going his way. He might have had one or two extra plays, during the course of this game. So I can't use the force fed. I can't use that. But, and at the same time, those wide open, even the contested catches that are right in his hands, like, got to catch those, you got to. And he just can't. Like, he's had a couple good games this year. like 8 catches, I think over 100 yards early in the season. You know, he's had a couple good games that make you go, "Yep, that's good. That's Debo right there." But Debo has left he's left the building. It's Tyshawn Raekwon Samuel Sr. That's who he is right now. He's not.
He's got to earn that nickname back.
That's right. He's got to be that bully on the field. You know, that's how he got the nickname. We all know that movie Friday, right? Debo, the guy on the bike. Yeah, you know, and he does. He has to earn that name back. At this point, we still have 3 games left. He's still going to get his plays. So I guess we're going to have a chance to see if he turns it around. Personally, I'd like to see some plays being called for, Ricky Purcell and Jacob Cowing myself.
Yeah.
Because we got 3 more games left. What have we got to lose? You know, we're not in a fantastic position right now. All it's going to take is one of these other teams getting a W this next week, and we're done, I think.
Pretty much.
So, it's like, what have we got to lose? Let's get these guys some in-game experience so we know what we have going into the offseason.
Yep. Let's get them some reps, get them plenty of playing time so that when 2025 comes around, they got a little bit more experience under their belt.
Yes.
It just to me,
but Brian, like, your question back at you. Do you think they were force feeding him?
I believe they are, and I believe it's kind of bittersweet because you had just a couple weeks ago George Kittle come out and make a statement saying he wants to be featured more. When they do feature George Kittle, good things happen. We've heard that iconically on the Red and Gold channel, the East Coast Red and Gold, and when they get him in the middle, or it doesn't matter where they throw the ball to Kittle, he produces, right? But Kittle is utilized on the offensive line so heavily because he's very, very good at blocking as well. So we don't get to see him run out and make catches. And we are trying to focus, hopefully, we got CMC out there. Maybe he can take some, pressure off. Maybe we can get Debo involved, Ayuk involved, right? Well, we got 2 of those players injured. They're not around. Then, Jennings emerges on third and Juwan, right? And it doesn't seem like we want to feature him very often or go to him. This season's been a little bit different since the other guys don't seem to be producing. Ricky Purcell comes in, and after being shot, and they start trying to get him involved. But Debo has been absent except for maybe 1 game this year. And I think it was early in the season where he had a really nice catch for a touchdown. I don't feel like Debo has been Debo. I think there's been some moments where he was really, really, good because he was able to capitalize on, like you said, a play here or there, but he's had some key drops. He had key drops in the Super Bowl, and I think it's lingering on him. And then, for this last game, after him coming out and saying he wants to be more featured, and for you not to, Jerry Rice said it as well. You have to catch the ball. You can't drop the ball. And when you drop the ball, it's only when it hits your hands. Who else are you to blame? The quarterback did his job. I don't care if it's coming to you like a duck, it's coming to you as a perfect spiral, it's wobbly, it's on your left or your right. If it hits your hands, I'm not talking about getting nailed in the back of the helmet. I'm talking about hitting you in the breadbasket, right?
Yeah.
It's on you. And that's been too many times with Debo this season. And if I did get to meet him, I'd like to get his autograph. I'd like to talk to him. I'd like to ask him, a couple questions, but I'd be polite. But at the end of the day, you're a wide receiver, wide back, whatever you want to be called. You're not producing in the backfield this season either. When they try to give him the ball, he's only getting 3 yards a carry if we're lucky. He's getting stopped a lot. I don't know. A lot of people say he's lost his step. So for him to come out and say, I want the ball, like Kyle, throw me the ball, give me the ball, and you not produce, and for them to throw him the balls, the passes, the plays, on third downs like they were, if you don't make that play, it kills the drive. And honestly too, at the end of the game, when Jennings didn't catch the ball and it got intercepted, to me, I feel like Jennings would look like he was tired a little bit. I think he could have done something, maybe stop the interception in some way. That's me being maybe a homer a little bit, but it feels like to me some players are really tired out there, and other players aren't producing. And I think they're upset because they're not getting targeted as much, or they feel like they should be utilized more. But again, when you're not producing, why should we keep going to you? I also think that's a problem with the running back situation this year. We had Jordan Mason this year, and he was one of the top running backs in the league. And just as soon as we hear CMC's coming back, we rushed him, I think, coming back, or maybe he rushed coming back. We start trying to bring him in and sit the other Mason down. We didn't. I don't know. I don't think we did a good. We made a good decision there, because then we switch our running attack, our running game, and we start really losing games from that point on. So I think we are overutilizing Debo. I really do. And I think it's because he's very vocal in the locker room. He says he's a captain. I think he should be a captain, but you should also produce like a captain, right? You got to bring something to the table, right? So
the players did vote him a captain.
Yeah. He's been around long enough. He's earned it.
Yep. And we can't forget about what he's done for us, right?
Yeah.
He seriously carried the offense in 2021, but that's shout out.
He was the offense. Yeah.
He was. He was the offense in 2021. And it's
well, was he the offense in 2021?
Brian's right about, huh?
Was he the offense in 2021, or was that because we got rid of Mostert? Because when we moved off of Mostert, Debo became the focal point, right?
Mm-hmm. Kyle leaned on him heavily in 2021 because he didn't remember we had injuries at the running back position. Does any of this sound familiar? Kyle doesn't feel comfortable with the young guys.
Yeah.
So he's like, Debo, you run the ball. And that's why Debo ran so much, because he didn't trust the young guys that we had there. That's the only reason why he ran the ball so much.
That's why we're not using Red. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and then, okay, all right, Kenny. So Mason is Thunder. We need lightning and thunder in our backfield, and that's exactly it. Three-headed monster. But does Mason? I think Mason's a free agent. And I think someone said that Mitchell still has a year with us because he's missing this year. But that's no guarantee that he'll make the team or even be able to make it through training camp. He doesn't exactly have a good history there.
I think Mitchell was close to being cut, but he got injured.
Yeah.
So they put him on IR for the year. So
yeah. We kind of saved him, from losing him or having to deal with his contract right now. But Mason, at this point, would kind of, I see Mason walking at this point, trying to go to a different team, and see if he could get more playing time or be a starter. Because as long as we have CMC and CMC is the one calling his number, saying he can play, it's kind of hard. It really is. It looks really bad for us to pull the number one running back out of the starting rotation for CMC when on our offensive roster, he's not the number one running back. So, yes, you don't lose your roster spot because of injury. When you come back, you get to start with the Niners.
Well, CMC is CMC is CMC. Like, he's an all-pro. He's one of the best backs in the league. Let's not act like he's chopped liver.
No, but I think it's a little bit unfair to call your number and say you want to be put back on when the other guy's obviously doing the best out of the league.
The problem.
We do have problem to get
here. I'm sorry to keep cutting you off. No, go finish up your thought.
I just think that everybody's thoughts on having like a three-headed game or a two-headed running back scheme, we needed to do that. But the thing with having CMC is he doesn't want to come off the field. So it's really hard if we have a fullback on the field, to have another running back on the field. And I like Juice. He does a great job at blocking. And maybe this is just our problem again, is if we go to the offensive line, if we had a better offensive line, we wouldn't have to have Kittle there, and we wouldn't have to have a fullback there blocking.
Yeah, I don't mind CMC coming back, starting. The problem here is, and David, you and I have talked about this, it's the utilization or the non-utilization of the other backs. And it's like, hey, CMC's back, and we talked about it. Like, I hope that Jordan Mason and Isaac Guerendo aren't put on a shelf and forgotten about. And they were. And that was the issue, right? You can definitely rotate backs. You can definitely spell guys and get them in there. We've seen it done this season with Jordan Mason and Isaac Guerendo. But there's this thing when CMC is back, Kyle just leans on him heavily. He's like a security blanket. He doesn't want to pull him off the field. Kyle can most definitely pull him off the field the way he's done to other guys, but he doesn't. And he's got to get over that hump of saying, hey, you rest. I'm going to let Jordan Mason pound the rock here for, 5 consecutive plays, right? We saw that. It was one game, I think it was the Green Bay game, where Jordan Mason came in, ripped off a 16-yard run, and immediately got pulled off the field. No, leave him out there. Let him pound the rock a little bit more. Kyle's got to get over that.
Okay.
I'm
I'm not showing the next comment, Kenny, just so you know.
Isaac is a dreamboat. Somebody's got a man crush. You got a running back crush.
Well, that's the next comment, but we'll leave this one up.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I mean, it's like this year's just, it's been a strange one, right? But we haven't been running the ball like we have in the past. Yeah, Mason was running the ball a lot earlier in the year, but we weren't running it 30, 35 times a game.
Mm-hmm.
We were passing it 30 to 35 times a game. And, Kyle, he's got his shiny QB, he's like, he's got a guy he can depend on, and he wants him to do good. Maybe that's why he's starting him out in the shotgun, which ain't helping a guy like McKivitz, The Chicago does have a decent defense. It's not like those guys are chumps. We played 49er football against them, and we beat the crap out of them. And then the very next game, we're against the Rams in the rain, and they're just teeing off on that run game. Daring us to throw it to Tyshawn and Raekwon Samuel Sr. and like trying to cover up everyone else. And he wasn't the only one with drops in the game. Yeah, Jennings had I think he had 2, But the Rams were actually doing a very good job of teeing off on the run and freaking covering the guys that they knew we were going to be throwing to. They were throwing corners at Kittle because they knew that their linebackers ain't keeping up. So it's like,
which is smart.
they came at us with a good game plan, and our offense just we couldn't produce.
That's been the story of the season, though. The offense's inconsistency. Like they haven't really produced all season long. I mean, people will talk about the kicking game and the defense all they want, but you have an offense that's normally scoring 1 or 2 touchdowns a game. That's it. Period. Like, you don't win many football games if you can't put the ball in the end zone. So, and whether it's injury or just bad execution on all parties, the offense has just been off all season. So they need to regroup and get it together.
I just kind of want to know, did Jake Moody walk up to Devo and say lock in? I mean, like, honestly, because, I mean, like, the way they played, like the Niners, like David said, played 49er football against the Bears. They did. They beat the Bears pretty good. Then, we play against the Rams, and is Brock Purdy that bad in the water, in the rain in a weather game? No, I don't think so. I think that's some people's narrative. But Deebo, again, there was too many times where he was like featured and he just didn't perform. I think we need to go back to throwing George Kittle the football, and trying to run the ball. And when you got one guy on the field, who's bigger than George Kittle on the 49ers football team?
Nobody.
Why aren't we using him more, right? It's kind of like what happened with J.J. Stokes and T.O., like they got bigger than Jerry Rice, right? But Jerry Rice was still Jerry Rice. But T.O., eventually, started getting we drafted him for a reason. Those guys were big players. Ty Speaks was big too. And we drafted those guys because they were big. And, come on, like you got the biggest tight end out there. He's going to be a Hall of Famer because he's one of the best in his right now in his era. And we're not using him because we have that bad of an offensive line. I think, I don't know. I don't know how much longer Deebo's going to be on our team. And I don't know how much longer Ayuk really is going to be on our team either. Getting hurt the way you got hurt, and then for the contract, if he comes back and he's not playing next season, well, how long do we keep somebody like that? Somebody asked me the other day, is our Super Bowl window closed? I don't think so because we have so many superstars and players that are going to be coming back next year from injury, and they should be healthy. Maybe not playing so many games will help them too. Rest is a big key here. And then the strength of schedule, like we talked about earlier. But I don't think we should be utilizing or featuring Deebo as heavily as we are. I think we should use him as like, a little bit of pepper, like a little salt and pepper at the end. You already, you when you're making your meal, right, you put a little bit of seasoning in it. When you want to kick it up a little bit, that's when you put a little bit of salt in it. But too much is not good or healthy, right? So I don't know. Maybe, you blame it on some other injuries this year, but Deebo's getting older, and to not see him produce on some of those, jet sweeps they call them. What else is he good at, guys? He's got like alligator arms. He's not the biggest wide receiver, and he's got to be like wide open to catch the ball. So I don't know. That's my opinion. I like Deebo, but I don't like other players too.
I've been saying he has T-Rex arms. Alligator arms are even shorter. Like,
I'm sorry, you're right. T-Rex arms. And I'm not clear. But when you overutilize them and they're like, all we know with the defense is they already know the play. They say, this is formation. This is going to Deebo, right? Then they already know how to line up against him. And that's kind of how we were playing with CMC out there is when CMC was on the field, the teams knew they're going to throw it to CMC. We weren't even looking at anybody else. I mean, I know they're getting paid a lot of money, and they got to earn their contract, but you have to maybe pay them enough money so then other guys are available and open, and then you can get them back the ball later when those other players have to be covered too. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just looking at it through rose-colored glasses. I don't know. Lenses, right?
Look,
not even the right way. Cause
I don't know. I see it totally different. Kyle did what he's supposed to do. He spread the ball around. Deebo had the same amount of targets as George Kittle. They both had less targets than Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
So you can't say he was force-fed. The ball was spread around. He got the same amount of targets as everyone else. It's just that because he said what he said, and he underperformed, it's magnified. That's what it is. It's magnified.
That's exactly it. These were looking at Deebo.
All eyes were on him, especially when George Kittle said was just, hey, I was open. Maybe I should have gotten the ball. And then he comes out next game and balls out. So, okay, the precedent has been set. George Kittle set the bar. If you say something, you come out and you rock. So Deebo says something and he didn't rock. So now everybody's looking at him like, And the thing is, Deebo volunteered that info. He put it out on social media himself. He didn't have to say nothing, which is what he should have done. So he dug that hole for himself. Now he's got to dig himself out.
That's true. That's true. You know, so we got about 18-ish minutes to talk about the Dolphins. That's our next team. You know,
Looking good.
Yeah, they kind of they made a comeback but couldn't quite get it done.
So
right?
it was a short comeback. It was a failed comeback.
But they just couldn't quite get it done.
Uh-huh.
And you know that we got to go all the way to Miami. You know, the NFL's I don't know if we are the NFL mass unit anymore because Detroit has I think they have 16 players on IR.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we're qualified to be calling ourselves the mass unit anymore, but we still might be, right?
Still might be. We're up there. We're definitely a part of it.
But you know, we're taking our battered, bruised team all the way down to the Dolphins. And
hopefully it doesn't rain in Miami. You know,
now,
it's nice sunny weather.
Some folks have the opinion that, you know, our chances of making it are so slim, we should just shut it down. Just shut it down. Just Warner, we love you, buddy. You can dress, you can be on the sideline as an emergency linebacker, but you're not playing. Greenlaw, we love you, buddy. You're not playing. Trent Williams, let that ankle heal. A lot of people are saying this. It's like, I don't see this team doing that. You know, these players, they have this thing called pride. They want to be on the field. You know, there's this thing that happened this last game. And it's like, if anyone thought that our locker room wasn't unified, watch what all the players said after the game about what happened there.
Uh-huh.
You know, that one guy that said, I don't want to go in. And here we are days later, and I've read this in a couple different places that Campbell didn't just say, yeah, I'm going to the locker room. No. John Lynch went down to the sideline and said, you're going to the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And as of today, it was announced that he is being suspended for conduct detrimental to the team for the last 3 games. Devondre Campbell. In case y'all didn't catch the news, if you haven't, what kind of I want to see the size of the rock you're hiding under. But you know, so and the whole locker room said they weren't happy about it. You know, you can tell that the locker room is unified. There's no Kyle's losing the locker room. There's none of that going on here. You know. And you know, it's like Campbell, I mean, maybe he's just very proud. You know, at one point he was an all-pro linebacker, right? At one point in his career. He's not that guy anymore. You know, he's lost a step. He's 31. He's lost a step. But, you know, to think that, I look at it like this, to think that you're going to start over Dre Greenlaw, dude, like, have you not seen this guy on the field? And it was amazing to me, you know, like Dre Greenlaw, you know, his thigh knee started to get kind of tight, something like that's the reports. And he said, yeah, I'm sitting down, you know, he's being precautious. And then D Winters gets a concussion. And at that point, like D Winters was he was going in to play the next to Fred instead of Campbell. So, you know, maybe Campbell did have some hurt feelings at that point, right? Maybe he did. But it comes a certain point in time where you put on that uniform, you know, you sign the contract to play, knowing full well that when this guy comes back, he's taking a spot. And then all of a sudden you're not going to go in. So we put a hobbled Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles out there. And, you know, he's not the best linebacker in the league. I'm going to say he's mid. You know, I'm not going to say he's terrible. He's mid. but you could actually see him kind of hobbling if you watched him running around.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, what did you just do to this team? And then the whole locker room was that they weren't happy. So it was more than likely John Lynch more than likely did the best thing for him and the team and told him, go to the locker room, get your stuff, get out of here.
Yep.
And, you know, it's like, I was wondering, is there going to come a point in time where, you know, our brass is going to stand up to a player? Because we're not, you know, our brass isn't exactly known for that. And here it is, right in front of my face. So, you know, there's pretty much nothing else to talk about because it's like, who's this guy? That's right. He's not with us anymore.
Nope. That's
so
what
here comes Jalen Graham from the practice squad, right? Here he comes. I can't remember. Was Tatum Bethune put on IR?
I was looking at that myself. I was trying to find that out, I should say.
I don't remember. I think he was at one point.
I need to find that somewhere.
So we're kind of thin.
Status. Yeah,
we're kind of thin at the linebacker there.
Yeah, that's the
rookie out of Florida State.
Yeah,
7th round pick.
I know who he is. But that's the one thing that bugs me about the whole situation. It's like, dude, you took up a spot. And you know what? That could have easily went to Jalen Graham. Right? We could have had just a healthy body out there who was willing to play. One of our youngsters that needs the reps. Right? We talked about this, David. Get these youngsters on the field. They need the reps. He could have been out there alongside Fred battling. I mean, tip of the cap to DFF, who was out there basically on one leg, but he was battling. We all know Fred is on one ankle battling. Like, dude, that spot could have went to someone else. Ugh.
Bryant, I want to hear it. What do you got to say?
Well, we got a lot of guys that went on IR, so that definitely is something an excuse. Nobody likes excuses, but it's definitely something that you have to take into consideration. You don't like hearing that kickers are injured because they're tackling. You don't like to hear that players got a big contract and then just got injured right afterwards. You don't like hearing that kind of stuff, and that's kind of the narrative of this season. So I'm really looking forward to this weekend's game against the Dolphins. This upcoming weekend, the Dolphins are a fast team. McDaniels, he's a good coach. Maybe he's what helped. I don't want to say that's all what Shanahan was. He loses all these head coaches, these assistant coaches, and he's not what we thought he was. I think Kyle Shanahan has a lot of stuff, that he's taught other people, and he's just not maybe using certain plays. I think Shanahan is a really smart wizard, guru, offensive genius. But going up against the Dolphins and Tua is a healthy Tua. He can throw the ball deep. He's got really fast players on his team. I think our defense is going to have a serious test on their hands. But if we can lock down, I think we got a good chance. And I think if the Niners do trust in like Garendo and go heavy with him, then I think it would be interesting to see how the rookie plays out. I also think that we need to use Kittle more. We got to use Kittle more. And like Ty said too, Debo should play a lot better this game because one, he should be motivated to play against the old assistant coach and Mostert. He should be looking forward to putting up good numbers. But he should also be looking forward to validating his name, right? He did say what he said, and he's got his podcast and all that good stuff. And maybe he's not locked in the way we think he should be. And when you do say stuff and you call out other players, karma comes back. And she also has a sister, And if you want to know her sister's name, I've met her, Becky. No, I'm just playing. There's a lot of, but there's a sister too, you know, so you got to be watching out. So that's what I got to say.
So Tatum Bethune was placed on IR November 24th after the Seahawks loss with a sprained MCL in his knee.
I just saw it too. Yeah.
I'm not sure if he can come back. I mean, this is all stuff, you know, what is that? Isn't that a 6 to 8 week?
Usually. So I think he's done for the season.
Yeah, he's more than likely done for the season, which is sad because it would be a great time to get him out there and get him some reps, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, but we'll just Jalen Graham, get him out there.
Kenny, he would work for kind of a linebacker right now. You know, he can tackle.
Yeah, he was good in the box.
Yeah,
that was no problem.
Up
in the box, being forced in the run game. Exactly. He just couldn't cover.
What are we talking about? We're talking about the 49ers is what we're talking about. You know, we were talking about the linebackers and who's actually available. You know, and that we're down one body, but like I said, they'll call up Jalen Graham. Fred Warner, you know, he's not going to sit on the sideline. He'll play with that broken foot. Dre Greenlaw, I have yet to see anything on him. That they don't start practicing until Wednesday.
Yeah, they had a bonus practice today, but you know they're not going to do any injury reports or anything, and it was probably just walkthroughs today. It's not until Wednesday that we'll hear something like definite what its status is. So we'll see. But hopefully him and D Winters are healthy enough, maybe play some in this game. We can mix in Jalen Graham, a little DFF, maybe rotate them a little, try to keep them fresh, you know, get those guys in there.
Now, I've actually said I think Brock's going to make anywhere from 60 to 70. I've actually said that. Yet to be seen, though. We'll see. A lot of people don't think, oh, pay him 45. Dude, like, all right. So, you know, at your work, you know, you're asking for a raise. You do more work than your guy that you work with. Are you going to just let them pay him more?
Exactly.
You know, like the market value for a quarterback with 2 playoff wins is $60 million. Dallas Cowboys made that.
Dak has 2 playoff wins?
You didn't know that?
I thought he just had like 1.
No, he's got 2. He beat the Seahawks a couple years ago.
Oh, okay. But hold up. He's the only one with 60. Everyone else, there's people with more playoff wins than him making less.
Yeah, it's like 50 to 60 is pretty much the going rate for a decent quarterback. You know, like Trevor Lawrence, I think he's 52. I can't remember what Herbert's at. He's at 50-something.
Yeah, thanks.
Bryant, what's Brock worth? Now, keep in mind, we only have 5 minutes left. But what's Brock worth, Bryant?
I think he's worth whatever we offer him, really. He's got to be happy with what we give him. And he has to be rational and understand if he goes to another team, is he going to be as successful as he is with the 49ers? It's kind of, you know, he's in a really good place right now. His talents, does anybody know how far he can throw the football? Here. Can he throw it 30 yards, 40 yards? What's his distance on throwing the football? So when you have a quarterback like, you know, Buffalo and he can throw it 70, or somebody like, you know, the Rams quarterback who used to throw it 70, but he now can admit he can still throw it 50 yards. Jared Goff can throw the ball at least 60 to 70 yards. When you have quarterbacks, I mean, like, honestly, you're in a good situation. And is it because we have the head coach that we have? And you are in the position that you are because of the franchise. So, honestly, he's making a lot of endorsements with Toyota. He's going to make his money. So, you really do have to think about, if I go somewhere else, am I going to win? Am I going to be as successful? Does the money right now matter that much? Because to me, like, winning matters the most. But I'm a fan, right? So I would accept what the Niners offer him. I don't see the Niners being able to, I don't see him offering him a crazy contract. They're going to offer him something respectable. But yeah, if you offered him somewhere around 40 or 45,000, $45 million for 4 years, I mean, why would he say no? He was playing for the last 2 seasons, 3 seasons for what, $100,000, the league minimum. So I mean, again, like, really, like, you've done what Kyle told you to do. Maybe this year you played a little bit more quarterback backyard football, but for the most part, when you do what Kyle tells you to do and everybody's healthy, we're winning. So I'm not saying that he's not the guy that could, like, put the team on his back and take us over the hump, but he had his chance in the Super Bowl last year. He didn't get it done. He had his chance this last game. It wasn't even a playoff game, but he did basically the same thing. He missed through, right? So I'm not saying cut him, but I'm not saying offer him the bag either. You just, I don't know. Like, if the Niners decided to move off of him next year and we got a quarterback that took us to the Super Bowl, I'm not going to be mad at the end of the season, because for me, it's about winning the season, not retaining one player. So, I don't want to buy a Super Bowl. I want to win a Super Bowl. I want the core to stay the same. But if you have to pull, a player here or there out and change him out for us to get over the hump, sometimes you have to say, well, it would have been nice to get it done, but, I wanted to see him bring back Frank Gore last year just so he could play in the Super Bowl. But, yeah.
So, there's many factors that come in here. Like, there's going to be expiring contracts as Brock Purdy's salary is going up. The salary cap goes up every year. That there's going to be some deciding factors on who we keep and who's got to go. But, honestly, I don't see, like, there are a lot of teams like the Chiefs. They're paying Mahomes, and look at them. The Bills, they're paying Josh Allen. Look at them. There are models out there for teams to pay a quarterback and be successful. So at this point, we just have to see what happens. We've made, I think, we have 40, 50 million in cap space right now, don't we?
I think it's more than that after they restructured
Hargrave?
Javon Hargrave. Yeah. I think it went up.
And then all that's going to roll into next year.
Yeah.
And that maybe they did that so they could, get off of a contract or two, right? They could eat it next year. And then all of a sudden we're 2026 got to start paying Brock, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when his contract extension will kick in. But over the next couple of years, the cap's going to go up. Is it going to be big? Is it going to be small? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Right?
Yep. Yeah, I think we'll be fine.
All right, guys,
they've done a good job managing the cap with all these players, and we still got the core intact. I think we'll be fine. Brock's number is going to be some stupid number. We all know that. Yeah,
and there's going to be those fans that don't like it. That always happens.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. But I think they always manage to create these team-friendly contracts. That's what we have to keep in mind. Nobody's contract kills us. It's always team-friendly, and there's always some out clause built into the contract. If you look at all the contracts they've done lately, it's always been, we can opt out after 3 years or 4 years, something like that. So that's a key that we have to keep in mind. They're very smart at what they do. So I think Brock's contract will be fine. It'll be what it is.
And
the one contract that did kill us, the one that did kill us though, was the guy we got from the Chiefs.
Oh yeah,
we couldn't get rid of him.
D Ford.
D Ford, but that was in our early days, right? That was in our early days. We were just coming along and looking for a guy. Yeah, we paid 4 years after he left.
I was just gonna say, like, if we have another draft like we did this last year, and say, just keep drafting like that moving forward, the team is gonna be fine.
Yeah,
they're not.
That's the key.
I mean, it is. It's the key. Yeah, we're gonna have a down year like we did this year every now and again.
Right. But we're talking about, look, if every 4 years we're successful, down year, I'll take that. We get to regroup 100%. And come back next year, successful again. We're making Super Bowl runs. That's not a bad trade-off, as opposed to the Jaguars, who are last place. The Browns, last place. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
we're not that bad off.
Yeah, we're not. And when it comes to Brock, no, I don't think he can carry the team at this point. But there's not many quarterbacks in year 3 in history of the league that could do that. Mm-hmm. Like Tom Brady, it took him till year 5 to get to that point. They always had a good defense and a good running game to go along with him. He didn't become that guy until around year 5. So, could Brock Purdy become that guy? 100% he can. What's up, David Corona?
David.
We got to get on out of here. Ty is due on another stream in a few minutes.
5 minutes.
So, folks, tune into East Coast Red and Gold this upcoming Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. What is it? Eastern Standard Time? 8
p.m. Eastern. Yep. 5 p.m.
p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Don't forget it's 6 o'clock in the Forgotten Time Zone. That's Mountain Standard Time, and 7 in Central. Corey Davis 49er Wednesday on my channel. 6 and that's at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which would be 10 o'clock Eastern, and the crew will be on, folks. Bryant, I'd say, what do you got going on? But you're going to be working, and it's the holiday season, so we're going to be working hard.
Yep, I'm delivering packages, people, and it's a great job, great service, and I can't be happier. But it's tiring, and when I do get a day off or a time in between, I'll be jumping on. So just keep your notifications on, and I'll be on, and you'll see me. Hopefully, everybody has a great Christmas, holidays, and go Niners as always. And please like and subscribe to Ty's channel and David McNiner's channel. And guys, just stay faithful. If you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe, because there is stuff that will be coming in the future. Just gotta be patient. And with that, everybody just stay faithful. Go Niners.
That's right.
Get on out of here. Corey Davis says, go Niners, and F all 31 other teams, especially the Rams. I don't care if they swept us.
That's right.